button before I forget. So we are actively recording. Thanks everybody for joining. 12 people, that is super awesome. Today we really just wanted to talk about organization and specifically power hours and how to incorporate them into your business, whether you start with one or a half of one or 4 or 5 like some of us have. But mostly just talking about organization and time management, tools that we've all used. Success leaves clues. We all know that. And so as a team, we like to share them. I'm going to get right into it with kind of my daily stuff. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Ashley Catalfamo, and I'm a diamond coach on our team and have been a coach since July of 2012. So start out, this is the thing that changed everything in my world. The 30daypush.com. It's Chalene Johnson's program. If you haven't done it, highly recommend that you put that on the top of your to-do list. Although what I've told my personally sponsored coaches in my downline is please stick with the book or the training that you are doing, as a team, instead of jumping straight to this, and complete that first and then move on to it, because it is a good 15 to 20 minute time commitment, but so well worth it. So finish what you're doing and then jump right into it. I'll give you what my takeaways from it are that I still use to this very day, and then get into my power hours. The first thing I start my day with every single morning is accomplishing my to-do list for the day. And I'm a pen to paper gal, so this is my little Bible here. And the only things that go on this list are things that if they do not get done today, there are severe consequences. So, paying the mortgage, mailing out Shakeology to a customer that I promised, very important things. I don't put just daily things like laundry or clean up playroom, any of that stuff goes into a different section. So on this list is just those things that have to get done. And you'll find that when you start making this very specific list that you really get rid of the overwhelm, because you don't feel like you have this list of 25 things you have to accomplish today. It's really a list of 5 to 10 things that have to get done. So number one thing, that's what I start out with. Shelly talks a lot about my detailed schedule, and I'm just a very pen to paper, scheduled, detailed person. So this might be really overwhelming for a lot of you, or you might be like, whoa, I really want to try this. But my day is literally broken down pretty much by 15-minute sections. I will, for anyone that wants this, I will take a better picture of it and put it in our group. But I mean, I literally started out 6:15 when I wake up. What do I do for that 15 minutes and onwards all the way to the time I get into bed at 8:30? Everything goes on this list, from taking a shower to working out to feeding my kids. I mean, it is detailed, because if I don't do this, I don't have the organization to stay on track. I will spend 45 minutes browsing Facebook instead of the hour doing my power hour and such. So I started doing this October of 2013, and that is pretty much the month that my Beachbody business completely did a 360, and my earning potential went through the roof. My recruitment to my team, it's never slowed down. It's only gone up and up and up, and I attribute most of my success to keeping a schedule like this. When I'm off track, Shelly instantly knows to talk to me about whether or not I'm on base with this. It's just really a huge tool. So I encourage you, no matter what, to at least for 3 days, write down what you do during the day. And I mean everything. Shelly mentioned it a little bit on our call last time, but the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, and write down. If you sat on Facebook for an hour, write it down. If you went on to Pinterest for 20 minutes, write it down. If you watched TV for 3 hours, everything gets written down. And that way you can go back through and say, oh, I could have gotten in a half a power hour right there, and you're really able to see those slots of times that can open up. So that's what keeps me organized, between the to-do list and that note there, plus a bunch of stuff that you could learn if you did the 30-day push that will just get you more into organization. But moving into the power hour, I know that something was posted recently about just your daily to-do list. And at the beginning of our group, in the header is the Power Hour checklist. And so for me, I keep mine pretty simple. I mean, let's just see, I'll pull out a current day. So on a current Monday of mine, I start my first Power Hour at 8:45, and that includes my first Power Hour always starts in my online office. So I don't log into Facebook. I don't check any of my messages on my phone. Nothing happens until I go into my Coach Online office, and I usually spend about 15 minutes verifying all my points, looking for new customers that I need to reach out with, checking my downlines, statuses in the drill down, and reading over the coach breaking news really quick just to make sure I don't have anything I need to pass on to any of my downline. As soon as that's done, sometimes that only takes 4 or 5 minutes, but as soon as that's done, I move straight into Facebook. Again, no checking any messages. And again, just to clarify, when you're in this Power Hour, nothing else goes on in your world. So, I mean, unless there's an emergency on a phone or you have to get up and do something for your home or wherever you're working, everything stops. And for me, that was the biggest thing, because I would go start a load of laundry in between, working with clients, and then I'd, sidetracked it and I'm unloading the dishwasher all of a sudden. So for me, it was really stopping everything and just for a solid hour focusing on one thing. So I move right into my groups after that. I start at the bottom of my list and work my way up, because if you notice on your groups on Facebook, you'll see that your very recent ones you created are all at the bottom, and then going up to the ones that you've had for a long time. So I start at the bottom, work my way up, always trying to get into my leader groups first, and any of our team groups that we have going on. And then into my challenge groups, I usually do 2 a month, so I have 2 or 4 to check in with, depending on how it's cycling. So I get in there, answer all the questions, put my daily posts in there. From there, I personally head to my messages at that point, because I usually have a good list of them in the day. So I try to get that knocked out in my first Power Hour. And then after that, I move on to starting to reach out to people. So I usually go over to the right-hand side and look for new friends or any friend requests that have come in. I go into different line wife groups that I'm a part of, and I look for maybe some new people that I'm not connected with, and I reach out to them and start conversations. And then that usually is my first Power Hour. I try to check in with my personally sponsored coaches in that time, but a lot of the time I save that for the afternoon when Owen's at school, just because I'm a little more sidetracked. But personally for me, I have 3 Power Hours in my days. I work Beachbody anywhere from 3 to 4 hours a day, except for on the weekends where I do 2. So what else can I say about my Power Hours besides really keeping it organized? I would say that it's really important before you get, if you're new to the whole Power Hour thing, I would recommend getting a pen and piece of paper and identifying the top things that you need to get done every day, including your workout and your Shakeology, personal development, all the 3 vitals, of course, and all the things I just mentioned with checking in with your groups, posting on your like page. I'm a huge event holder, so the events get about probably 30 minutes of my time daily where I'm posting in those events I create every day, twice a day. So just write down the areas where you are needing to spend your time. Like I said, your groups, your events, your just your timeline in general, Pinterest, anywhere you need to be giving your time, Instagram. And then start tackling which times of day you can block out by knowing where you're wasting the time or where you have the open time slots, and then go from there on creating the Power Hour. But I would say that is probably all I have to say. I went really fast, so we can have a question and answer at the end. But I'm going to pass it over to Danielle at this point, and we'll see what else she'd like to add.
Hey guys, so I think related with the Power Hours, I learned how to Power Hour from Ashley when I first became a coach about 2 years ago, and I learned it because I couldn't get a hold. I felt very overwhelmed on what I should be doing and what I shouldn't have been doing and where I was going to fit everything in being a new coach. And I tell every single one of my new coaches, like, this is crucial for you guys to somewhat master this so you don't feel the overwhelm and eventually get to that point where you are feeling so overwhelmed that you don't want to do this anymore. It becomes a job that's not enjoyable for you. And I reached that point, and then Shelly reached out to me about power hours, and with a clear vision of where you want your business to go and the growth you want to have is where your focus and your discipline, I would say comes in, especially when it comes to Facebook. Like, we all like to get on there and troll the news feeds and see what's going on with everybody. But I think it falls into a category, and a team call that I watched on a couple other teams that have done this, that you have to treat this like a business. Like, if you treat it like a hobby, it's going to be just that. If you don't treat it like a business and that's your vision, you're going to fail every single time. And I want to emphasize that no matter what your vision for your Beachbody team is or the growth that you want to go, it's at your own pace. Like Ashley said, like, she puts 4 to 5 hours in. I started off putting what I could in, which was 30 minutes. And that's when I was working full time. That's all I could do. So I condensed those power hours into 30-minute blocks, sometimes 2 to 3 times a day, where I could get on and get what I needed to done. I want to share with you guys something that I was on one of Scotty Hobbs's videos on YouTube. He's a great coach to follow. He put it a little bit like this: treat your business like a business. Even though you're just beginning your journey, or perhaps you want to take this serious from today forward, it's time you treat your business like a business. What happens if you have a regular 9-to-5 job and you don't show up to work? What happens if you show up and you don't do your work? Simply put, you get fired or replaced. Don't allow that in your business. Show up and drive that thing every single day. If you want a 6-figure income with your team Beachbody, you have to treat it like that from day one. Yep. No matter what you feel, don't get fired. And I see so many times, and I hope you guys accept this with an open mind and an open heart, and it's coming from a place of love. But your job every single day is to do those 3 vital behaviors. Fit those 3 vitals in that power hour. You have time for it. This is your job, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So a missed workout, like, what if you went to work and you didn't do something that was required of you? Just like Scotty said, like, you're going to get fired, or you're going to get replaced. And you're going to be, disappointed every time that you don't succeed or you don't hit Success Club. So to kind of share a little about what I do in my power hours is, I think that going along with treating it like a business, not a hobby, is you have to set those hours. Like Ashley said, you have to stick to them, like not doing the laundry, not, doing this and that, or this needs cleaning. You have to set those hours and stick to it. Be consistent, I think, is the biggest thing in this business. Show up every day and be there. Like, if you say you're going to start a challenge group that day, you may only have 1 or 2 people. Start that challenge group. Don't be like, oh, well, I didn't have enough people or enough interest, so I'm going to push it to the next day. Like, show up and be there for those people. Me personally, I do it a little bit different. I've always struggled getting my personal development in at the end of the night because I'm so tired and wiped out from everything else with being with 2 kids. So I started doing my PD every morning. I wake up, I make sure my kids get off to school, Allie gets fed. I do my PD. I don't even turn on my cell phone. I don't turn on my computer, don't return messages, anything. I do my personal development. I started doing it 15 minutes a day, but it's grown to 30, sometimes 45 now. And so I do that. And then after my personal development, I usually have a thought in my head that I want to post to Facebook, but I stay off Facebook still. So I go into my coach online office, just like Ashley does. I check my alerts, which is in the bottom left-hand corner of your coach online office. And I check for any new customers. If I have new customers, I send out a welcome email. I then check my customer orders. And if I have any customer orders, I send out a thank you note for their purchase. And then I check the breaking news really quickly. I check in with my downline coaches as far as if they're active, if they're inactive, where, what's going on there with the downline. And then I get off the coach online office and I get onto Facebook. And Facebook, you've got to be focused. You have to be disciplined not to check those little red notifications. And I know it is super, super hard because you just want to dive right in, but I don't check them at all. I go into my groups, whether I usually check our team group first, any team trainings that we're doing. I think as a leader personally, I feel motivated, and I feel like it's part of a requirement for me being a leader to post something motivational in our team page at least 2 to 3 times a week. And then after all of my groups are done that I need to go through, my challenge groups and everything like that, I get to my messages. And the key thing about messages is I mark, there's a little option in your Facebook where you can mark just to view the unread messages. So I mark that, I go through all of my messages, and I reply to all of them. And then if people start replying to me right after I've already sent them, I don't touch it until I'm through all of my list, because that's so easy to get sidetracked, and then you miss somebody and it gets pushed to the bottom, or you get so sidetracked on that one person you never get back to that. And that's where the focus comes in these power hours. It's hard. You have to determine what's important to you. And as your business grows and you wake up to a morning where you have 40 messages, or some mornings maybe you have 10, like you may not get through all of them. You have to go through all of them because they deserve that time and attention, and then go back to replying in the next power hour is what I've had to do for like a follow-up list. So I replied all the messages, and then after I get through the messages, I do my follow-ups from the day before. And one thing I learned from one of Scotty's videos was that if he gets people, and I know a lot of coaches have asked this question, like if you reach out to people continually and they're like not replying or they seem to be ignoring, what he does is he sends them a message saying, I'm here to help the right people that are ready. So when you're ready, know that I'm here. Because I know a lot of people get frustrated with, they're just not replying, or they showed an interest at one point in time and now we're just sitting here stuck. Like, there's so many other people that need your help. And so you have to move on eventually, and they know that you're there. And then I would say for me, I try and post on my Facebook 3 to 5 times a day. But only 1, maybe 2 at the very most being Beachbody related. You guys are going to figure out what works for your audience, but if you flood it, or like we like to say, Ashley, vomit Beachbody all over continually, people want to know you. They just don't want to know about Beachbody. So figure out what works for you, figure out what works for your followers, and just get those power hours in. I promise it'll take so much overwhelm out of this business. It really does. And just with a clear vision, like, start treating it like a business. Wake up every day, do your to-do list. Like, just act like you walk into a business that's almost like it's not yours, because a lot is expected, and all I can say is power hours probably saved me from quitting this business, in all honesty. So that's really all I had to say. I will post some more of what Scotty put in the video that I've watched tons and tons of times and got so much information out of. I'll post that in our team page. But
right.
I think now we want to maybe open it up to questions for you guys, and see where you guys have some questions about power hours.
Yeah, I'm going to touch on one more thing before we open it up. I just was thinking of something, and one thing that I really got out of the 30-day push as well is Danielle and I both have spoke on how easy, and we all know how easy it is to get lost in the Facebook world. And we also know how important it is to be lost in that world, quote unquote, so that you can reach out to people and start these conversations. And that is a part of my power hour at the end of the day. I mean, that's an integral part of my business. And for me, what keeps me on track is identifying the triggers that when I find myself doing such behavior, I know instantly to go to my to-do list or to go to this awesome schedule where I'm like, okay, it's what time, and I got sidetracked. So for me, anytime I find myself on that news feed during specified time, I'm like, whoa, wait a second, back to the to-do list. For me, when I'm in my car waiting for my kids at the, little drive-up lane at school, that's another trigger for me. Check my to-do list. What else do I have to do? So for me, like Shalene Johnson, anytime the clock's at 11, so 11:11 or 3:11, those are her triggers. When she sees that, she immediately goes to her phone and looks at her to-do list. So identifying triggers for you that happen in your daily life to be able to put you back on point to these power hours and to your schedule are to me, another part of the success with it all. So Let's open it up and let's just start at the top. So to my right, I've got Tina. Do you have any questions? No questions? Okay. Artist, do you have anything we can help you with? Artist, can you hear me? Do you have any questions? No questions for Artist.
All right, no questions. I'm trying to unmute it.
Were you sleeping on me, Artist?
No, I wasn't.
All right, y'all are making it easy.
No, I wasn't. I'm waiting for my husband to mute the TV that he's listening to next to me, and I'm trying to hit the unmute button at the same time.
Perfect. Okay. So Sarah, we'll go to you. Any questions we can help you with?
I guess maybe for anybody who had a full-time job and was doing Beachbody at the same time, kind of being a newer coach, like what did you find to be most beneficial on where to spend your time having a full-time job as well?
I would just say immediately, I don't have a full-time job, but I mean single momhood, I'll say, when Joe's gone is full-time job, but challenge groups, I mean, gotta say it, that's where, in all my honest opinion, that's where everything's gonna come from. So identifying one a month you can start, one every 6 weeks, and going from the 3 vitals, I mean, obviously the 3 vitals being first, and then starting a challenge group, advertising for a challenge group, and then being present in that challenge group. And you can so do that with even 30 minutes a day, easily. I mean, easily. But Danielle has worked much more full-time than me, so I'll let her take that.
Yeah, so when I first started out, I was working 10 to 11 hours a day, well, if that includes driving time, in Depot Bay when I lived there in Wallport, and I was working a 10-hour shift. So that was super hard for me, but I had to do quite a few things to kind of manage down my 30-minute. I did 30 minutes in the day right before I went to work when I was drinking my shake. And then we didn't technically have a lunch there, but I did take time during the day, during the downtime, to get on for another like half hour or so. Like Ashley said, the challenge groups, that I would say the inviting, and I think the most important thing to learn as a new coach is how to share your story. And with passion and purpose behind that, because I think that draws people in like a magnet if you learn how to master that as a new coach. But yeah, challenge groups, connecting with people, whether it be your story or inviting, and then just like I said, don't make everything about Beachbody. Like, get on there and post about your hobbies. I know Jana's not on the call with us, but I had a talk with her when I was there in Oregon in December, and she was like, oh, I just feel like, sorry, I just feel like they just want to know all about fitness. Well, they don't. And once she opened up her world to who she was and her horses and the stuff that she does in her photography, she's seen her like page just blow up like no other. And people want to know you. So if you have to, just like Ashley said, take your day and literally write down everything you do, because sometimes we don't even realize it, that we're sitting there on Facebook for 2 hours doing nothing but trolling those news feeds. And then you can look at your whole day and be like, oh, I could have worked my business here. I really want this business to work. This is time that I can put elsewhere. Or this is time that I watched 2-3 hours of TV when I could have been sitting there working on my business. It's all about prioritizing what you need from this business. If you want it to be more like a hobby and you want to do this on the side, that is totally fine. If you guys want to dump 5 hours into it or 30 minutes a day, that is totally up to you, but it will reflect in your business what you put into it. So I would say that also, if you're working a full-time job, look at your days off. I know Jana works maybe I think 2 full-time jobs, the photography business on the side, and she does a lot of her messaging and connecting on the weekend. So that may be an option of just fitting more into your weekends and a little bit here and there through the week. It's all what you can manage in your schedule.
I have something to add, if you can hear me.
Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Shawnee, and I'm not always really active in our team, but I'm always there paying attention to what's going on. I was actually Shelly's very first coach. I signed as a discount coach. And I don't do Beachbody for a living. And every once in a while, Shelly checks in. She's like, what is it that motivates you with this? And because I do have a more than full-time job, I'm also going to school full-time. I don't have little ones at home anymore, but I have a college student that she has her own house, but when she's here, I give my attention to her. And I still make an income at this, even though I don't consider it my job. So if you're working full-time and you need to make the decision, is this a career? Do you want to turn this into a career? And you can, and what you're doing with the team is amazing, and following all of the guidelines and the PD, obviously under Shelly's tutelage and Ashley's and Danielle's. But if it's something that you want as a part-time job, or even not as a job, but you still find yourself doing it because you just want to help people, the best thing you can do in your full-time 9 to 5, 2 to 11, whatever it is, job is be the product. I make money with Beachbody because I love the product. And when people see me and my results, they ask me what I'm doing, and I tell them. At my desk at work, I've always got samples sitting on my desk. I have people who work for me at my corporate job who have health issues who've come to me, and I've sat down and said, okay, let's have a real conversation. What's your nutrition like? Let's not talk about working out right away. Let's talk about what you're eating, because we know that 80% of our problem is what goes into our mouths. And you start from there. And I think being a leader, and I think I posted this last week in a response to somebody's question about what a leader is.
I think it was mine.
Being a leader is not a manager. You do not need to manage your clients or your coaches or your customers. You need to lead them. You share the vision, you remove the obstacles, and you help them to get to where they need to be, and you let them manage and figure out themselves. So I think at the end of the day, back to the original question, what do you do if you have a full-time job somewhere else? First thing you need to decide is, do you want that to remain your full-time job? And is this going to be a second job or a hobby or volunteer work? And then once you figure out what path you want it to be, then reach out to your coach and ask him how and what you need to be doing to ensure that you're doing the right thing for the people underneath you and yourself.
Totally. Thanks, Shawnee. That's great. Does that help, Sarah? Do you need anything else clarified? Okay. All right. Let's go to the amazing Emily T.
I just kind of want to follow up with what Shawnee said, because when I first started, I didn't have a network. Like, there was no social network. I had like everybody in my family on Facebook and stuff like that. And I wasn't really, I like Beachbody, but I wasn't doing all the things that I should have been doing. And Ashley knew I wasn't doing them, but she didn't come and say, hey, you're not drinking Shakeology. Haven't ordered a bag in 3 months. She didn't call me. She didn't single me out. She didn't make me feel bad. She was like, hey, are you doing this? Why not? Oh, okay. And then she walked away from it, because I'm going to do what I want to do, whether or not it's what I'm supposed to do or whether or not it's going to help me. I'm going to do what I feel is best for me. And so just kind of helping them see, well, maybe that decision isn't really helping you right now is going to be the best thing you can do, rather than scold or try to be a parent. That's not your job. You just kind of want to say, hey, what decisions are you making, and are they helping you? And then let them decide whether or not they're helping them, because you can't decide for them. But I don't have any questions about Power Hour. So
Okay, good. Well, you're rocking yours, so thank you. Let's see, Danielle, you're good, right? No questions. Leah, Miss Leah. Well, Shawnee, did you have any questions? Sorry, skip around your little window here. Uh-oh, we aren't frozen, are we? Shawnee, no questions?
I guess, I don't know if there's any other people out there that work full-time and have other commitments too. I'm hearing you talk about this Power Hour, and I'm like, because my job, obviously I have my daytime hours, but
Right.
sometimes I get a call at midnight, and sometimes I'll work 6 hours during the day. How would I with going to school full time, working full time, and being a wife full time because I want to keep this husband.
Right.
At what time would you put a power hour into there? And is it
Well,
ever enough?
I think
Here's what I feel bad is I do have people who are under me, and I feel like I just don't give them enough time, and then I lose.
Okay, so have you done the 30-day push?
No.
Okay, so number one, because I know you've got to do that program, because not only is Shalene going to be like, what's your 5 most important things in your life? We're not going to mess with those. And then you'll always stay on track that way, because you've got your faith, your family, your husband, you've got everything all on your palm of your hand. But you also, I would highly recommend write down your day, at least for 3 days, to try to see. I know like you've got the schedule that sometimes pulls you away, but if we could consistently take 15 minutes here and 15 minutes here, that could be all you need. You're a quick worker, you're a smart girl, so you may not need a whole hour to sit there and plug away, because like you said, this isn't your full-time job and you don't really want it to be your full-time job. So you could easily take 10 minutes here. Sometimes I get more done in 10 minutes because I have to go somewhere than I do in an hour. So if you're anything like me, I would start with that 30-day push. It's free. I mean, just get on there and do it. I actually have a group I can put you in that I did 2 years ago, and all the files are stored in it, so you could just pop in there and go through the daily tasks. But it's simple, and it will change your world. So
I think it will actually help all aspects of my life.
It does.
Right
It pulls it. Oh yeah.
Asking 10 things at a time.
Yep. I cannot recommend it enough. So
Okay.
I would start that tomorrow morning.
Okay.
And Shawnee, going along with what you said about you feel like you don't have enough time for your downline coaches, like just to remind everybody, Shelly's upline coach that sponsored her doesn't work the business. She walked into this just going into the online back office. Like I said on the last call, like we all have this at our fingertips, and I truly believe, like I tell every single one of my new coaches that, and I let them know that I'm there for them from day one, but I'm here to lead by example. And if they have questions, that's fine, but they need to grow their own business because I'm not here to babysit them.
Totally.
Like we all have every single answer to any question at our fingertips, and we have an awesome team page. Like if somebody posts something on there, then we usually get right to it. I would say with somebody answers or chimes in within at least 10-15 minutes. It seems like there's always one of us online. And so if your people are wanting to work the business, plug them into our team page, and we are one big happy family and willing to help anybody get anywhere where they want. Even though they're your personally sponsored coach, everybody is here for them.
Totally. That's great. Thanks for saying that. Thanks for bringing that up too. I really appreciate both Sarah and Shawnee saying that, because it is important to identify, where you can fit this in. So I hope we've helped with that. And Leah, we will scooch on over to you. Do you have any questions about power hours or time management or any of that business?
Well, besides the fact that I just need to start doing them, I don't know. I feel like I've sort of fallen into a situation where I have no time at the moment, but I think probably if I took the time to schedule everything out, I would find more than I think I have. I think the thing I struggle with the most is I'm still pretty hesitant to post things that aren't pretty well crafted, and a lot of times a single post will take me 45 minutes to put together between getting the pictures I want and getting them from my phone to my computer, and I don't know, just putting it all together. And wondering for if you're posting things 3 to 5 times a day, like what how does that process up?
I can speak directly to that. Tara Carr once said to me, I would rather you take 30 minutes, an hour to do one post than I would for you to put out 6 posts that took you a minute or that took you 2 minutes. So if you're sitting there and you're coming from your heart for one post a day and you're adding value to people's lives in one post a day that takes you 45 minutes, like amen. Do it every day of the week. And Leah, that's you. For me, I'm sometimes only proud of one post I put out during the day. The other is filler. And sometimes that makes me uncomfortable, but there are days where I'm like, wow, I really hit it. But no, I cannot honestly say that every one that I sit and do is something I'm like, gosh, that was just a great post, So you have your like page too, correct? You don't, haven't done that. Okay.
No, I haven't done it.
Well, I mean, you have your great group, your private group. And I think from what I've seen in there, you add great value. So I would just keep doing what you're doing, but as a busy mom, I would tell you to write down your day for a few days and then identify where that wiggle room is. And for me, I wasn't even realizing it. And for me, it wasn't even that I was wasting time. I was just doing too much together. I was just doing cooking dinner, folding laundry, talking to people on the phone, text messaging over here, posting on Facebook, and it was working. I was running this business. I was diamond in how many months. I was doing good, but I was not good up here. So, you know, once I slowed it down and was like, during this time, I will do this. And, you know, it took a while, but just slow it down. And you have done 30-day push, right?
I've started it. I got about 7 piled up in my email.
Okay. So, you know, maybe at another time visit that, not right now because you said, as you already know, you're overwhelmed, but I would challenge you to write down your days for a few days, see where some flex time is, and then, you know, start with a half-hour power hour. Don't start with the full hour. You're overwhelmed right now. So don't try to take on this whole huge thing. Do 15 minutes, you know, just make it during that 15 minutes, you're going to do this, you know, and see how you feel after a couple days of doing that. But
that sounds like a good idea.
did I answer your question? I don't even know if I
think so. Yeah.
All right then, John, you're up. No questions? All right, thumbs up. Shannon?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I actually tuned in late, so you may have already answered this. Just tell me if you have, and I'll listen to the recording.
Okay.
Did you go over your day planner?
Oh, yeah, I did not go over my, thank you for bringing up my day
I'm glad I didn't miss it. And then I'll unmute. I have one quick question.
Yeah.
30-day push, is that, you said Shalene, where can I find that?
The 30daypush.com. You can go to 30daypush.com.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'll unmute. That was my only question.
All right. And, you know, as for the day planner, I just got it at Staples. It was $60, so it was not cheap, but it's going to save my life. The cool thing about it, and you can look at the picture, I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's broken down all the way from starting at, you know, 12 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night. And then the cool thing is there's this whole side thing for notes. So pretty much what I'm going to do is take my already existing sheet of paper of my day and then put it in here. But just to go over, I mean, you can watch it again. But I mean, I start at 6:15 in the morning, go all the way down to 8:30 at night. And it's usually somewhere in the hour or 15-minute intervals of what I'm doing during that time. So shower, you know, getting the kids dressed, dropping off my son at school, how much time it takes me to drive back to the house. I mean, I have it very well lined out so that I know where my time is free. So essentially that's what my planner is going to be about. But in the notes section on the side, I'll be commenting on my contacts for the day. So it will kind of be like my business activity tracker in a way, but not replacing it. But I also keep, you know, just a regular, you know, calendar on my desk as well. But that would, I don't know if that answers your question as in what I put in it, but I got it at Staples. It's called At a Glance 2015. I think there's like a $10 coupon on it because I ended up paying $50, and remember it's a tax write-off, so we all need those. No, but it will go everywhere with me, and it will help keep me on track for sure. But yeah, that's my planner. Okay. And let's see, Artist, somehow you ended up at the bottom again, but I know you didn't have any questions. And then Steph, do you have any questions?
I didn't actually have any questions because you answered them all.
Yay!
It was great, yes. Danielle, that was very fantastic about talking about the people that you've helped that are quiet and you just don't get any response. I have one person like that. She bought the P90X and I've never heard from her again. But she keeps buying Shakeology and I keep, hey, how's it going? Haven't heard from you. What's going on? And crickets. So I just kind of let it go and I'm moving on with other people. But I know she's following me, and I get all those kinds of likes and lurking, stalking type things. but nothing concrete, and it's kind of weird. But everything else, other than that, I am also a person that has to do pen and paper, and that's really good information about putting your hourly, everything that you do during the day. My boss has also asked me to do that, so now I have a challenge to put everything down that I do in a day.
Wow.
And I just don't want to because I know it's a lot, and there's some things that I don't know if I can cut out, but I probably should.
I hear ya.
But yeah, so yeah, that's about it. This was a really good chat.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you got a lot out of it. Let's see. I have a call-in user. It's not Brittany, because I know your number. Who's the other person on the phone that we haven't said your name?
What's the number, Ash? I can't.
It doesn't say a number. It says call-in user _1. You wanna ask them who that is in a chat, and then Brittany, do you have any questions, darling? Maybe that's not Brittany. I think it is Brittany.
No, it's me. Sorry, I just have to do a lot to my phone to mute it so I don't like cheek it. I do that all the time. I turn it off mute. You can hear me yelling at Kayla. I'm cooking dinner. You can hear me banging stuff. So I have to like lock myself out of my phone to be on Zoom.
Well, you did good.
I really need a Bluetooth.
Yes, I see.
That's my next goal is a Bluetooth.
What's up? You have any questions for us?
No, I think I'm going to do the 30-day push. I'm going to start it tomorrow. That's my first.
Woohoo!
I'm going to, I think I've like figured out my best power hour time.
Okay.
However, Hootsuite, like scheduling posts. What is the best way to go about it? Because I'm on there. I'm posting, 2, 3, 4 times a day.
Yeah.
So I'm scheduling my day around that, and I kind of want to just walk away from my main posts and just check in. I think that'll save me time.
Okay, well, I'll speak from my personal opinion, and then I'll let Danielle speak, because I think we're on 2 different playing fields here. I personally will only use scheduling for my like page, and I do schedule it on Tuesdays is my day that I spend about 2 whole hours a day doing my whole week of my like page. But I will not use Hootsuite, and my own personal reason is because I just feel like I'll be too disconnected from my group. Like I won't know if someone's aunt died, or if their dog died, or if their kid's super sick, because I won't like actually go in the group and like see how everyone's doing. So I think there's huge benefit in it, but I just personally haven't done it. But Danielle, on the other hand, has had good success, so I'll let her speak on it more than me.
So I started out originally with my power hours using that Hootsuite, and I noticed that like when I posted from it versus posting to like real life time, I wasn't getting so much engagement. And I watched a Facebook training where it's because it's a third party that it doesn't flow into people's news feeds like from if you were posting live. So I actually, Ashley, I stopped using Hootsuite on my business like page for that very reason, because like I said, I watched the training and it showed where, because it's a third party, it doesn't come into their news feeds like a regular live post does. And so I started scheduling on my like page from the actual scheduler.
Yeah.
And then I only use Hootsuite for my budget challenge, because that's so demanding.
Right.
So my budget challenge that I use that. And then if I happen to have a handful of groups going where it takes me longer in my power hour to schedule, I'll schedule out my group post for my challenge group. But other than that, Hootsuite is not on my like page anymore, for the very reason that it was minimizing my interaction.
Cool. Okay. I didn't know that. Well, that's awesome. So then I would say, Brittany, do not waste your time with it at this point. I was kind of thinking we were going to have a little bit of a different input, but I think that you and I let's pencil some time together this week to talk about how we can shorten that load for you. Because I know that we can make it a lot more simpler of a process, so you're not overwhelmed with that one step. So let's chat about that in a little bit. do you have any other questions about anything else of the whole power hour or time management, or just fitting it all in? You got a lot of moms on this call, so feel free to use us.
Well, I think my next plan of trying to make it tomorrow is just waking up before the rest of my house does.
Mm-hmm.
So there is less chance of interruptions, because I have a 2-year-old, and it doesn't matter if she's eating breakfast or reading a story. It only lasts for like 5 minutes, and then we're off to the next, activity. So I'm just going to start getting up earlier and doing it, but that's going to be my plan. And I think I'm going to change up my routine and start with a workout, and then I feel energized and motivated to do it, rather than sit down with my cup of coffee at my laptop and go, oh, it's nice and quiet. I'll just sit here for a minute.
That is a really great idea. I like that idea, and also because then that frees up Kayla's nap time for you to not work out during that time. And now that you're not tramping, you can definitely wake up earlier and not, wake up the whole fam bam. So
that's my plan. And she has not napped since she was 1, so just get that out of your brain right now. She kind of hates me like that.
Kayla,
she's done napping.
Okay, good. Well, I like your plan. I think that's great. You're going to feel so good working out first thing in the morning, and it will set your whole day off great. So I'm going to challenge myself as well to wake up earlier, but we'll see how that goes. So, it's a great idea, though. All right, did we figure out who call-in user _1 is? It's a lurker. Who is it? Tell us who you are. Reveal yourself. It's Shelly. She's sitting there and she doesn't want us to see her. She's anonymously on our call. All right, well, whoever it is, we're happy you're here. If you have any questions, please let us know or type in the chat box if you can't figure it out. Does anybody have any last little? Tina does. Okay.
I have something to add about the Hootsuite. I don't use it for my like page, but I do when I'm running multiple challenge groups. And I schedule out, I will if I'm doing a 21-day fix, I will sit and schedule out using the format we have in that provided for us. I will schedule out the entire 21 days. But I don't disconnect from the group. I do that so that I'm sure that post gets in there and that I have daily got that post in there. And then I do check in and add like another 2 or 3 posts depending on what's going on. And then I check in. That way I use it so my post is made and I can simply be present and reply and help and be more conversational throughout each day and reply to what's going on versus worrying about if I get my post in.
And do the pictures transfer?
They do.
Okay, so it's not just a little box that says.
Add an image. Oh, you know what? They did start giving some problems.
Yeah. So that was what I saw. It's like it was just a little box that said something, and then you had to click
OWLY link.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I haven't done it for a while, but when it was working really well, at least I was getting my posts in. That's when I was running several challenge groups at one time, whether it be just Fakeology or 21-Day Fix or still a PIO one. So I don't know. I guess it's up your preference. When you've got a lot of groups going, it's nice to make sure you at least got your main post in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I know we can't schedule on our groups, just on our like page, right?
Say again.
We can't schedule posts on our groups, just in our
like
page.
Not with the current format, no.
So,
yeah, you can always try it, Britt. You can always try it and just see how you like it. I'm having a feeling that my internet is going to be not liking things here soon, so let's go ahead and wrap up. Does anybody have anything else they want to add?
The only other thing I wanted to leave you guys with today, and especially with having a lot of leaders on this call and new coaches, is I want you guys to daily ask yourself if your team did what you did during that day, would their business grow? Because once you guys start building a team, you essentially become a leader. Those people look up to you. So think of it as you have an accountability to your downline as well. And I think that's what pushed me to finally get so focused and so laser focused on these power hours to just grow my business and to have my downline follow me. So if you can sit there at the end of the day and say that what I did today, my coaches, if they duplicated it, their business would grow, I would say you're on the right path. But it does take time. It'll take, you're gonna see where these power hours are gonna work for you, where they're not, if you need to expand them, if you need to make them shorter. It's gonna be a trial and error for a lot of you new coaches to figure this out, but you will get there.
Totally. And on that same exact thing, the last thing I'll leave you all with is something Lindsay Matway said at this event Shelly and I went to on the Side of Summit this last year. And she said, if a reality crew, which I'm a huge reality star, like I'm a freak over all the shows. I watch them all. But if I had a camera just following me around all day long, which I would love, like, right, Brittany, Line Wives, we could do it. But what would they see? What would my team see? Would they see me just like eating ice cream and like talking mean to my kids and being this like just all over the place person? Or would they see the dedicated, like working, got my schedule out, doing my power hours, my house is clean, you know, not clean, but like, you know, decent and, you know, like livable, you know, my husband's taking care. Would they see like all the things that I want everyone to think I'm doing every day, or would they see just chaos? And so sometimes when I'm really tripping out, I'll be like, whoa, I need to put the brakes on, you know, I need to be the product of the product in more ways than just working out. I want to be the leader, like you said, Danielle. So that's a good gut check daily for sure. But I love how our team chats are growing. I cannot wait for Shelly to watch this and the rest of our team. I'm just so thankful for everybody that got on, and can't wait for next Sunday. So let's start thinking of, you know, put in the team page what you guys want to have us topic on next time. Maybe branding, maybe, I'm not sure. So maybe a whole thing about challenge groups. I'm not sure what you guys need. So please let us know what you guys need and what would be helpful, and we'll go from there. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Danielle.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.